Hello people, I am Jaby KOAY, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
Hi there.
We're discussing KAATRU VELIYIDAI. This is a film that came out some time ago, April 7th, 2017. On IMDb, it currently holds a 5.9 out of 10. I imagine that any of you guys watching this review have already watched the film. It's been out for a while. I don't feel like we really need to dive into a general, summary of the film or explain the backstory. I feel like we can just talk about our feelings and keep this short and simple. I want to start out by saying that I really liked Aditya Rao Hadari's performance. Karthi, he did a good job in transitioning. I don't know that I bought his performance all the way through. He definitely sold me as a jerk, and he sold me as someone who is reformed, a reformed jerk. But there's stuff in between where I'm like, that's a little much, man. Now, that's just performance stuff, right? I don't really have thoughts about the surrounding cast around them. Most of the film is just these two actors, right?
Yeah.
What I want to talk about is Ratnam. Now, we watched another movie of his not too long ago.
Yes, Chekka Vanam.
And I was immediately drawn to his eye.
Yes.
His visual style and the kind of stories he's gravitated towards based on these two films. I like what he seeks out to do. I don't know that I'm completely won over yet in terms of the final product, but I really, really like what he seeks out to do.
Yes.
And that is, he wants to tell a more grounded story through a beautiful framing, through beautiful colors.
Yes.
Like, I really like his style. I really appreciate it. But there, in both movies now, there's something that's like, I'm sort of missing. And I'm not quite sure what that is. Maybe you can articulate it better than me.
Well, see, this is the thing. I feel the same as you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if by the time this review comes out, if our interview with Aditi will have come out already.
Yeah, she talked about it.
But she did talk about it. And the way she talked about it, I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. Like maybe there's something cultural or some nuance that we're not getting, because she was saying how it's so layered and
it is layered. I do agree with her.
But like I don't feel so much of that emotional layered.
I felt emotional. You felt emotional too. We're talking about emotion isn't just crying. Emotion is getting frustrated, getting angry, getting upset.
Okay, fair enough.
And I feel like it definitely had those layers there. Like you and I were both getting vehemently frustrated with the main character because it felt real enough that we could buy into the problem in the story that Aditi's character was experiencing.
Well, then I don't really know how to articulate what my issue is. I think it might be just to do with the story and it not...
The main issue here was the main character wasn't likable, right? And I felt the same way with certain characters in the other film.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really know who's likable here, who I'm buying into here, who am I rooting for, who am I championing? And the way Aditi put it was, oftentimes we'll see these films where the main character ends up being amazing in the end, and he's able to like completely redeem himself every time. And Ratnam didn't want that for this character. He wanted it to, I guess, essentially feel more real in that he isn't able to really, truly, fully redeem himself until the very, very end, I guess.
The issue that I had with the storytelling on that part, and the same issue that I had with Chekka Vanam, was that I felt like there was a lot of telling and not enough showing. There was a whole thing where he gets caught in Pakistan and he goes to a Pakistani jail, and then there's this whole voiceover thing where he's like, I miss you so much, I want to come back to you, I'm a changed man, blah, 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 blah. But it's like,
we don't see him change.
I don't see you change. You can tell me until you're blue in the face, but I don't see your actions really, so I don't really feel it. That's what I mean about like not feeling emotional in that way.
I agree with you. I agree that they didn't show that, but I think it's incredibly difficult to visually illustrate that when he's in a Pakistani jail.
Yes.
I'm trying to think about how, like, if I was the one directing the movie, I'm like, how would I even show that? Like, what can you show? I guess there's ways, but it all comes down to it would have to be dialogue still. It would have to be like he's having a conversation with someone and going through what he did and realizing his regrets as he goes along. What the film lacked for me in regards to his transition was, I don't know why he was this way to begin with. I don't know why he was such a profoundly upsetting person to begin with. Like, why was he such a jerk? And he just was. Like, there was nothing diving into what informed that mentality, that personality. Maybe it did and I just missed it.
Or, I mean, maybe it was to do with his family and his dad, because his dad was a bit of a jerk as well. But
the only... Yeah, that's actually, that did come up, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't like, it wasn't the most clear, I think.
Yeah, no, you just know it was now, yeah.
Yeah, was it?
The fact that you mentioned that, it is clear, and I just, for some reason, it didn't connect with me as much as I wanted it to, but like on paper, it does justify his character, right? Because his character is a jerk and his dad's a jerk, and so it's like, it's this thing that's passed down, so that's a layer of the story there.
Right.
Where like you see that he's an asshole, and then you see what comes of someone who's raised by that person. Like,
yeah.
They have this angst, this anxiety, but like him as a character, I think the reason why it didn't like connect is because it wasn't on the nose enough of him going, wow, all this came from this over here.
Well, he had that moment when she tells him that she's pregnant, and then he's kind of like, I'm afraid that I'm going to be like my dad as a father.
You know what it was? I think I was distracted by her unwillingness to leave for so much of the movie.
Yeah.
Why do you keep coming back to this guy? Like, he doesn't deserve you. VC does not deserve you. And It made me so upset that I completely neglected to pay attention to what informed like where he was coming from. I just hated him at that point in the movie. I'm like, I hope he stays in the Pakistani jail. Like, I hope he rots and dies there because he's such a jerk. And then when he gets out, like what I liked was when he sees her, there was something so genuine about his response to her.
Yeah.
That I was like, wow, he really feels like a changed guy. The actor was able to communicate it in that silence, in those looks, and the moment they shared together. I was initially, I'm gonna be totally honest, like I was initially surprised that she even walked up to him. But then I thought about it, I'm like, well, time heals wounds.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that makes sense that she would walk up to him. The biggest thing for me was, when the film ended, I'm like, I bought him.
Yeah, it wasn't until the film ended that I bought him, because actually in the beginning, with some of his jerky personality that he was doing, I felt like it was a little overacted. To me, it felt a little bit put on.
Yeah, when he was like, I love you, I love you, I love you,
Yeah,
I love you, I love you. Take me
like,
back, don't leave me, don't leave me.
Yeah, it just seemed like a little bit too crazy, and I was like, I'm not really buying it. But at the end, I was like, oh, okay, yes. I buy that. I buy that you're having all these emotions, and it was a lovely moment. Clearly, he can act.
Going back to what we were talking about earlier about his dad's behavior towards him, informing his behavior. Thinking about it still, I'm like, I don't understand why he would say, hey, let's all get all our friends together and meet to register for marriage. She goes and does it despite herself.
Yeah.
And he doesn't show up. He forgets.
I think that's just showing like the type of person that he is. He's impulsive. He's reckless. That's why he's a pilot. So he's like, yeah, this is a great idea. Let's get married. And then forgets about it 2 seconds later. She's not that person. She's a doctor. She's stable.
I guess it's like, I would never, ever, ever want to talk to him again.
I'd be pretty pissed.
If someone did that to me, I would like lose my number, bitch. Like, don't ever call me again. You've embarrassed me to such a degree that it is irrecoverable. Like, I just can't, we can't walk this one back. Like, there's no takebacks on this.
Right.
There's no I'm sorry's enough to ever make up for this. Unless you go become Bill Gates. Like, there's no reason for me to come back.
For me, that moment was when, well, there were several moments actually, when she's with him in front of his army mates.
He puts on the hat.
Yeah, and puts on that hat, and then he like insults her, and he like pushes her or something. I'm like, whoa, he's being really abusive, emotionally abusive, and somewhat physically abusive as well, and I wasn't appreciating that. And then the thing where he
was telling her to shut up in front of people.
I know. I was
in front
like,
of mixed company. I was
oh
like,
hell no, you did not just do that.
Yeah.
Like, I was angry with her and for her. And then that part where he comes up to her and he gives this beautiful apology, like, I love you, come back to me, Leela, come back. And then she does, and then he sees all his friends and he's like, see, I told you she'd come back. Oh my God, if that happened, I would have been like, watch me leave.
Take your hand off. I'm walking this way.
Watch me leave.
No, but the part where he tells her to shut up in front of his family and then in front of his friends, like the closest I've ever done to anything like, because I've had my jerk moments, the closest I've ever done to anything like that was, I was shooting a scene and a girl I was dating was involved and she was trying to chime in. I'm just like, and I put my finger up because I'm like, I can't take any more voices. Like, everyone's talking at me. I did this so that she wouldn't, like, so there wasn't just one more voice.
Right.
Compounding.
What happened?
the stress I was feeling.
Uh-huh.
This dude wasn't stressed. He's just chilling with his friends and he says, shut up. She goes, excuse me? He goes, shut up. I told you to shut up. I'm like, damn. Like, I don't even know if I would deal with a girlfriend saying that to me. I think I'd be done. I'm like, I am too good for this shit.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think, I think they justified it with her just being really madly in love with him. I appreciated that there were moments where she was like, I shouldn't be here. Like, she admits, you treat me badly and I'm still here.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, I love you so much. There's this element of, kind of like that crazy Romeo and Juliet vibe where they're like two opposite, like a magnet, you know, positive and negative just drawn together.
I wish that the nuances that was illustrated in the end of the film was more peppered throughout, because there was this one moment in the end that actually moved me, which is he came all this way. He didn't know what he was going to say to her, but he wanted to get her back, right? Mm-hmm. And once he finally got there, what I saw was his willingness to let go. He apologized. He's like, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the things that I did. And it felt like he was ready to like go this way and she's gonna go that way. And then the daughter shows up and he realizes he can't leave. Like, this is, he has an obligation here now he didn't realize he had before. And he's like, I traveled the 7 seas. I'm like, oh my God, like this is so good. This part right here.
Yeah.
And I just wanted more of that kind of layering, because I knew exactly what he was thinking without him saying too much in that scene. And I feel like the rest of the film needed more of that, because it was all very like surface, like he's a super jerk. And then and she's in love and that's why she won't leave.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole thing. Like you said, it feels very surface. It was very demonstrative. Here, I am a jerk. Or like, let me tell you what's going on. Like, no, like, actually, these two actors are very, very capable of showing these nuances. And I really did enjoy Aditi's performance as well, because I think she's actually a very,
grounded.
Yeah, very grounded, very natural, and it helps with those big eyes.
Yeah, we're saying all this not speaking a lick of the language. We don't know the language, but like even with that, looking at her performance, I buy into what she's expressing in her face, in the way she's, her tone, all that stuff. Her embarrassment in that scene when she put on the hat, and the way she went about putting on the hat and trying to reason with him. I bought everything she was doing.
And I think that's why we got so upset. Because it was like, no, how could you treat her like that?
Right.
Like,
No, I agree 100%. Like she made it so real that it was very, very infuriating when he was mistreating her. I'm like, how can anyone mistreat her?
Yeah.
Look at how pretty she is and how sweet she is. Just leave her alone.
Yeah.
She's just putting on your hat. What's the big deal? Put on my hat, Aditi.
Yeah. I think I just probably needed more reasons to understand why she loved him so much. I mean, unless she just loves jerks, which I guess is a fair reason to love someone. Maybe you just like being yelled at.
Who doesn't love a jerk in uniform? I know I do. I'm just kidding. I feel like this is the kind of relationship you do see happen a lot. I'm glad that he truly reformed at the end for her. Maybe I'm projecting, but I feel like there was a willingness to let go at the end. And that's important, was that he was willing to just let her be and let her be happy.
That's the thing that kept him going the whole time he was in that jail. It was like, I just hope that you're happy.
Yeah.
I just need to know.
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Be honest, be verbose. Check out ACHARA KIRK on the social media. Jaby KOAY's there as well, if you want to say hi to him. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out our other reactions, reviews, and short films. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.